Welcome to week 3. And as you can see, your screen is full because we got a full lineup for you today. Views and dues plus the Fantacee show. We got a big one for you today. I got MJ, I got Trav, and of course, I got the man with 99 names plus one, Germ. So Adesanya. I don't even know what name he's going to go with tomorrow.
Adesanya.
Germ So True, say good morning to the people, and we're going to go around the horn while I share this link.
Hey, man, real quick, y'all. Good morning, week 3. I will not be Germ So True today. I'm Germ So Adesanya. So just make sure y'all understand how this is going. And, hey, man, we're gonna break this thing down like only we do. Views and dues, baby.
Yes, sir.
MJ,
yes, sir.
I'll let these folks tell them what's up.
Yo, it's M drop the J because the fadeaway perfect. We're gonna be on a little bit of our quarterback / wide receiver stuff on my Cordell Stewart-ish for those of y'all old enough to remember. But nah, we up here to just talk about the Fantacee. Now, if y'all didn't notice, man, understand that this is history in the making because I'm probably the only person that went from performing on Saturdays to performing on Sundays in less than 2 weeks. So y'all acknowledge this history right now. Trav, go ahead and talk to the people.
Man, you know what it is, man. Views from the 22, man. Thank y'all for welcoming me onto this show this morning. I'm just here being a student of the game at this point. I got a little input. Hey, I done had my fair share of trophies in this Fantacee, but hey, I can still learn. So, hey, pregame show, fantasy show. Hey, let's get it on, Mo. Let's get it on.
Let's do it, yo. Let's do it. Try to get this thing going, get this link going, make sure everybody jumps on. And I don't know why, as always, Facebook just doesn't want to comply, which is why we initially switched over to go into Instagram and then eventually to YouTube, because Facebook and Zuckerberg just don't want to get their shit together. And they just like to make my life more difficult, trying to get this content shared, and they trying to let us be great, yo.
We're going to be great regardless.
We're going to be great regardless. Absolutely.
Mo, let's go ahead and kick off the show.
Let's just get going. Yes, sir. Let's do it. Here's a post. All right. First on the docket is the Houston Texans versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Over-under in this game is 45. Steelers, 4-point home favorites. No major injuries for Pittsburgh, but for Texans, Duke Johnson is out today. So that's going to be a bit of a miss. We'll keep you tuned for some fantasy advice on that end. But Jerm, we're going to kick it off with you. What you got on this game?
Okay, we got Pittsburgh, Steel Curtain. That defense, one of the best in the league, one of the best pass rushes in football. There's two major keys in this game is Pittsburgh, as we said, is coming in relatively healthy. They don't have very many issues. The Texans are one of the worst teams in football right now. Let's see if they can turn it around this week. I just don't see it pretty much. I think Dupree, TJ Watt, Cameron Hayward, Stephon too, everybody on Dasher, on Dancer, on Blitzen, Comet and Cupid and Donner, and y'all get the rest. So Mr. Adesanya is gonna just tell you guys that it's about to be like a UFC fight in that backfield. So give me Pittsburgh in this game. I don't think there's really too much of a shot for the Texans. I think the pass rush becomes too much. And then we kick it to Trav.
Too much. I think Pittsburgh gonna be clicking on all cylinders on both sides of the ball, man. That defense, I remember you guys was talking about it on the end of the season, that they have the defense to be number one in the NFL. Texans, they just ain't got enough at this time right now. Week 3, they probably gonna be the first 0-3 team that we see 12 o'clock after 12 o'clock. So, me personally, I'm picking the Steelers on this one. I don't know the spread. I ain't want to know the score, but just too much Pittsburgh.
Yes, sir. MJ, what you got on the fantasy end in this one?
All right, so on the fantasy end, if you have the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, you can almost consider yourself a lock to play them every week. Even if you play opponent offense, you know that they're guaranteed to get at least 4 to 5 sacks, maybe even an interception. It just may take one to the house to turn in the offense on you. So don't worry about if they give up yards against a really good team or even give up a lot of points against a really good team because they're going to be there. And also, if you have Deontay Johnson, definitely play him. He is third in targets. From what I've been seeing with the Texans, they have not been able to stop too much of anything. Unfortunately, I have David Johnson, so I'm just going to hope that he can get a few PPRs in the backfield, get a couple of throws, but that's not really a good matchup for me. I'm currently 1-1 right now, but just like I told you guys in the first 4 weeks, it's really just filling out the team. So as long as I got my one, maybe sneak another victory, and I'm going to be okay. But for you guys, Deontay Johnson, Pittsburgh Steelers defense, I look at them to be able to shine. Watson is going to be okay. I mean, he's going to be okay. He's not going to have the game that's going to go crazy. He'll be okay. Will Fuller will get his targets, but for the most part, I don't really see anybody going crazy on the Texans.
To be honest with you, just on that end, MJ, from a matchup perspective, if I got Deshaun Watson or somebody else, I'm probably going with somebody else. You know what I mean? Because I think it's going to be a rough game. I think Pittsburgh is going to find ways to pressure Watson over and over. I think with the issues on the offensive line, anytime an offensive line has issues, one of the main things you see them have issues with is communication. And anytime you play a Pittsburgh defense, you better be able to communicate, because they're going to come from the left, they're going to come from the right, they're going to come from the front, and they damn sure are going to come through the back. They're going to just do everything they can to hit your quarterback. And again, shout out to Big Shot, protect four. It's going to be a long day for Deshaun, I'm afraid, because of that pass rush. I'm going with Pittsburgh as well. I think Houston last week against Baltimore looked outclassed, outmatched, and overpowered. Honestly, there were so many missed tackles, so many bad angles, so many undisciplined things. And against good football teams, you can't do that. And Pittsburgh is certainly a good football team now that Ben Roethlisberger is back to playing like Ben Roethlisberger, which, as we established, can go either way. But we got good Ben so far early in the season. Like we said, the over-under is 40. Go ahead, MJ.
No, I was just going to say, since you're not going to play Watson, just a couple of quarterbacks to look out for on the waivers. Joe Burrow should still be on other people's waivers. I don't think a lot of people believe him just yet. You also have Haskins, who has a favorable matchup against Cleveland. I think Cleveland's going to run the ball a lot, and they're going to get put in positions to be able to throw. And even Daniel Jones may get a look. I mean, San Francisco has the name on defense, but I think he's going to have an opportunity to still be special. So just some names to look out for if you don't want to play Watson. And I'm actually taking the over on Pittsburgh with the 4 points. Go ahead.
Ditto. Moving on now. The Tuck Rule game, baby. The Tuck Rule game. Shout out to the Raiders. Shout out to Raiders Nation. Still not over it. I don't understand why. The rules are the rules. Don't be mad at me. Don't be mad at 12. Don't be mad at Bill. Be mad at whoever it was that put in that rule, and it just happened to come out that way. Over-under in this game is 47. The Patriots are 6-point home favorites. So clearly a little more respect for the Raiders, because in years past, when it was Raiders at New England, the line was starting at 10. So now it's down to 6. The Raiders are rising. Belichick and the Patriots and Cam look revived. We'll see how this game goes. Jerm, we'll start with you. We'll just real quick with the injuries. Trent Brown and Henry Ruggs are out. That's two big guys that are not going to be playing. And Josh Jacobs is questionable, but he's expected to play. For the Patriots, David Andrews, their outstanding center, was placed on IR this week. He's going to miss about a few weeks. And then James White, condolences to James, prayers to James, thoughts to James. He's not playing again. More than understandable. Germ, what you got on this game?
Kawatowski is out as well, the middle linebacker.
Linebacker, yes.
He's out as well. Okay, so this game is really simple for me. I think David Andrews, we know how important David Andrews is to that offensive line. I want to see what the Raiders do to get some pressure this week. Last week, of course, they beat the Saints, or whatever the case is, on Monday night. They did that pretty much with being able to attack them. Against this Bill Belichick defense, Darren Waller is not going to have the same effect. He's a good player. He's going to get some catches and things of that nature. But Bill is going to make sure that he makes sure he secures some things, especially around in the red zone. So give me New England in this game. I don't think that the Raiders really have a shot to win this, especially in Foxborough. And I just think it just becomes a game about coaching more than it becomes a game about anything else. Trav, I'm going to pass it to you.
Trav, I just wanted to ask you before you go, just give me your thoughts on what you've seen from Cam Newton. Still on mute.
Yes. Cam has actually been pretty good. They have built something around him to make things fit. I haven't seen them force the ball down deep, but as far as him getting the ball to the people that he needs to get it to, Cam has really impressed me. A lot of people were like, no, he's not going to do it. But this is Cam Newton. Cam can do what Cam can do. And when you put him in situations, he can do it. Like you said at the beginning of this introduction of this matchup, John Gruden is back where the scene of the crime. That's going to be tough. But you know what? I'm going to pick the Raiders.
Ooh.
I'm picking the Raiders in this. That the way they did, now the Saints are not the same as New England, and of course Belichick can adjust and make things difficult. For some odd reason, man, David Carr, and I just like Jacobs.
Yeah.
I just like Jacobs, man.
Yeah.
I like Jacobs. Raiders in this, man. Raiders in this.
MJ, what you got on the fantasy side, brother?
On the fantasy side, if y'all didn't know, Waller is also questionable. They expect him to play, but him being listed as questionable does pose issue to play against a Belichick-led defense who is known for taking away your first and second option. So play Waller, but also tread lightly. If you have another good tight end on your team, you might want to look and probably not play him, depending on who it is. As far as anybody else goes, Josh Jacobs is a no-brainer. I really don't see this game being a high-scoring game. I don't. I think this is going to be a chess match, especially with Oakland missing their top deep threat with a hamstring, who I thought was going to be the perfect weapon for this game to really be able to unleash him, since Belichick was going to take away Waller and take away Jacobs. But him not being able to go deep, maybe the other rookie could be able to go deep for him. You might want to look at the other rookie if you're really desperate for a flex. But for the most part, get the kickers in this game. And as far as the pick goes, I'm going to take the points with the Raiders. I think the Raiders lose, but I don't think they lose more by more than 6.
I'm go ditto on the fantasy end with that one. I would definitely take on the gambling end. I would definitely take the Raiders to go to cover if I was a gambling man. I think from the matchup perspective, without Henry Ruggs, this offense goes back to being a little condensed. And it's got nothing to do with the scheme, but more to do with the abilities of the quarterback. What we need to see from Derek Carr now is that all this, we've been hearing all off season that he's finally getting the offense down. He's comfortable. He understands it. He runs it now. And so, it's showing these first 2 weeks with some pretty impressive performances. Both times they scored 30-plus points. But now without Ruggs, let's see how it can continue. Let's see if Derek Carr can remain consistent. Their one advantage, New England, with this, I don't know if you want to call it revamped front seven, but with this front seven they have, it's a little undersized. They got some big guys in the middle, but overall it's a little undersized with all the corners and safeties that they play. So Josh Jacobs and Darren Waller, I don't know if New England has any answers for them. I think the only answer they have for them is ball control. And one thing we're going to see in this game is ball control. We know the Raiders are not going to be too explosive without Ruggs, so they're going to try and get those 10, 12-play drives. You don't want to get into that type of game with Belichick, because the more he collects on you, the more he's going to have an advantage on you. Give me the Patriots to win this game. I think they're going to just control the ball, get some big plays, and I think they're going to force some turnovers, because this secondary is still pretty good. And I know they didn't do – I mean, they got torched by Russ Wilson last week, but Russell Wilson is the type of guy where you could have the perfect game plan against him, and he's still going to beat you. So give me the Patriots to win this game. I'm going with a low score as well, 22-19 New England. Moving on now to another game, another early game with just two very, very intriguing matchups. Two teams that are 2-0, trying to improve to 3-0. And we know if you get to 3-0, you get to 4-0, your odds of making the playoffs increase exponentially. So we got the LA Rams traveling all the way to Buffalo, New York. That is a straight diagonal north flight that they had to take straight across the country. West Coast team playing a 1 o'clock game in Buffalo. Luckily for them, that stadium is not sold out today, or it could have been a long day.
Yeah.
Over under is 47, but the Bills are only 1.5 point favorites. So Vegas is expecting a close one. 2 major injuries in this game on both sides of the ball, on both teams. Both of their rookie sensation running backs are going to be gone from this game. The Rams and Cam Akers out of Trav's favorite school, and Zach Moss is also out in this game. Big news for Buffalo, though. They get those 2 linebackers back, and Tremaine Edmonds and Matt Milano. They practiced 3 days in a row, even though Tremaine was non-contact. They still practiced 3 days in a row, and they should be good to go today. Germ, what you got on this game?
We're going to make this real easy. Circle the wagons. LA coming all the way to Buffalo. That's normally never a good recipe for success. Give me the Buffalo Bills today. Give me Buffalo with let's go over. I think we can cover that 2 point favorite. Give me Buffalo.
I got you. Trav, anything you want to add to this game?
Number 17 for the Rams, man, been kicking ass.
Yeah.
Robert Woods have been putting in major work. And this may be one of the revenge games for him. Give me the Rams, man. Give me the Rams. Give me the Rams in this.
I got you. MJ, what you got on the fantasy and gambling end?
For the fantasy, Trav eloquently mentioned it. He definitely play Robert Woods. I don't think Higbee will do what he did last game. I don't think you should expect any player to do what they did like he played. If you expect 3 touchdowns this week, you're crazy. But not a bad pick. I mean, it's not a bad pick to play. I think also I'll look for Cooper Kupp in this as well. I think Buffalo's defense is really good, and you're going to have to be patient and take some underneath routes. Cooper Kupp is really good in the business when it comes to doing that. As far as Buffalo goes, I'm going to say, really look hard at Singletary, because the one thing about the Rams defense is built to stop the pass. And even though Josh Allen, can be able to create a lot of things with his legs, I don't think you want to play with Aaron Donald when it comes to that. So look for them to hand the ball off, quick dump offs, dink and dunks. I think Devin Singletary can be able to sneak you some nice points off the dink and dunks and off of a couple of big runs. Plus, again, I like John Brown, but I don't think they want to see him with Jalen Ramsey. As far as the pick goes, I am going to go ahead and go, honestly, with the Rams.
Ooh.
I will take the Rams for this reason and this reason only. Coaching and continuity. That's the only reason why I'm taking.
I'm going to tell you this, right? I've been going back and forth with this game all week, and I don't know which way it's going to go. On the one hand, with LA, their play calling is not predictable, but their game plan is, because we know what Jared Goff can and can't do. And we know what Jared Goff needs to do in order for Jared Goff to play like a number 1 pick. And Buffalo is a team that doesn't want your quarterback to get comfortable. They're going to make sure he is uncomfortable all game long. Same when we talked about Pittsburgh with disguises and pressures. That's one thing Buffalo is going to do. You talked about Higbee. It is fantastic to see that Higbee is being more involved in this offense, because we've been calling for about 2 years since McVay got there to start incorporating his tight ends more in this passing attack. Why he's not going to do what he did last week, and why he's not going to do what Mike Gesicki was able to, Mike Gesicki was able to do for the Dolphins against the Bills last week, is because of those 2 linebackers. What you saw last week from Fitzpatrick is they just kept attacking the middle of the field between those hashes, and it was opening up because those linebackers are not the same quality as Milano and as Edmonds. So I think with those 2 guys back now, the run game becomes even more crucial for LA. And without Cam Akers, sleeper alert, Darrell Henderson is the guy who's going to play today, and he might end up getting a lot of touches. And if the Rams keep it close, he might end up closing it out. Despite all that, I'm going with the Buffalo Bills. It's a toss-up. You literally got to flip a coin. I just think at home, West Coast team playing at 1 o'clock, the 2 linebackers being back. I just think in the end, Buffalo will find a way to make a few more plays than the Rams. So give me Buffalo in this one, 23-20. Go ahead, MJ.
And let me just say this one thing and one thing only. In the gambling world, expect 4 games to just not make sense. This is one of the games that I'm picking.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I got another one that I think everybody should just stay away from, but we'll keep that coming. Next on the agenda, we talked about this game a little bit in the pregame show. We got the Washington football team playing against the Cleveland Browns. This is a game that's a really, really intriguing matchup because you got one team that's on the rise and you got another team that you just don't know what you're going to get from a week in, week out basis in the Cleveland Browns. Over under is 45, but the Browns are 7-point home favorites. We got Olivier Vernon still out, Greedy Williams still out, Denzel Ward is expected to play today. So is Mac Wilson, and there's somebody else making their Browns debut today. Can't think of the name right now, but we'll get that to you. Jerm, what you got on this game?
Pretty much, man. This is one of those games where it's basically strength versus strength here. Browns offensive line has played a lot better this year so far. But the additions of Conklin from Tennessee and also the first round pick Jedrick Wills from the University of Alabama to go along with J.C. Treader, Joe Patonio, and Teller has taken a step forward as well at the right guard position. This Washington team is one of the better teams in the NFL when it comes down to just flat out getting after the quarterback. They're just better at it than most people. So what I'm looking at in this game is who does the better job? Does the Browns offensive line do a better job protecting, or do we get the Washington Redskins, the Washington football team all over Baker Mayfield? In this game, we need quick throws, we need screen passes, we need a steady diet of Chubb, and we need some Kareem Hunt. We need the Hunt and Chubb connection. So give me Cleveland, only because I think that the running backs, and I think that they have enough talent to be able to score 24 points. 24 points will win this game because unless they get turnovers, Washington is going to struggle to score moving forward. It just looks like they're a Terry McLaurin offense or bust right now because they don't have really a solid guy in the running game and because Haskins is still developing and still growing. So I'm going to pass it on to Trav.
This game screams inconsistency and who can dominate their power first. That front four of Washington on defense and the subs that come in with it, they getting after it. And of course, like you said, the offensive line of Cleveland. If this man if Baker Mayfield got to drop back a pass and them folks get to him, that's a sign that I can't ride with the Browns with on that. And I really think that Baker's going to do something real Oklahoma-ish, and it ain't going to work. It ain't going to work. Give me the football team, man. The football team. The football team.
The football team.
Give me the football team in this one, man, because the Browns, so much talent and so much good of a team. There's a lot of just inconsistency. I gotta see some consistency out of them. So give me the football team.
MJ, what you got on this?
So it was this movie I watched. I forgot the name of it, but it was with Freddie Prinze Jr. and Jessica Biel.
Summer Catch.
Jr. was a pitcher. Summer Catch. I didn't want to say the wrong way. Yes, Summer Catch.
Yeah.
It was a moment in which, prior to his no-hitter game, he talked to his brother, and his brother was pretty much telling him, like, you know, if you place your curveball, if you throw your curveball for strikes and place your fastball, you're as good as any of these pitchers in the league. And he said, I want to be intimidating. And dude's like, don't you want to be rich? When I look at Baker Mayfield, he reminds me of Freddie Prinze Jr.
Ooh.
You have the perfect offense to be able to just be rich.
Mm-hmm.
You got 2 backs that's going to get you 1,000 yards.
Mm-hmm.
You have 2 receivers that can be 7-11 if you allow them to. If you just run the ball and use the play action and get the ball to them and let them be what they are, you're going to be rich. Forget this gunslinger shit.
Swear.
Everybody don't got to be a gunslinger to be able to be successful in this league. You have everything that you need. You have everything a quarterback wishes that they have. But right now, he is fighting between who he should be and who he wants to be. And because of that, it's hard for me to really invest in Cleveland. But I will say this. Against the Washington football team, if they run that ball, even though they're very deep on that defensive line, they can make a lot of traction and tire out some of them guys. I actually would think, I don't know how they coach, but I think they should incorporate hurry up. Keep them big boys on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Hurry up. A lot of draw plays, a lot of screen plays. Y'all want to blitz? Fine. Keep blitzing. You're going to be needing that oxygen mask for a minute. If they do that, then I got Cleveland. But if Baker Mayfield want to show that he's Kyler Murray, because Kyler Murray, the difference between Kyler and Baker is Kyler's way more athletic than him. So he can make those extend the plays. That's why he has success. That's not Baker's lane. Baker puts the ball where it needs to be at. So if he wants to be a gunslinger, Washington is going to win. So this is one of those games I stay away from because I don't know who's going to show up. With that being said, if we're going to talk about fantasy, I got Kareem Hunt. So from a homer standpoint, I'm rooting for him. I'm rooting for him and Chubb. I hope they get the ball. I hope they get the ball so much that they get full and fall in their faces. Mm-hmm. If they do that, then I think everybody is going to be happy, including Cleveland people, including people who got OJ Beckham. Because the more they run, the more OJ gets opened up. Because at some point, them safeties got to creep. Once them safeties creep, ain't nobody covering OJ 101 for more than 3 seconds. It's just what it is.
Right.
So I'm hoping that Washington, we talked about Haskins. He's pretty much looking to one dude. So if you got that one dude, you're great. Trell McLaurin. If you have him, you're great. Stay away from everybody else. Steven Sims is actually questionable. So even if he's a good counterpuncher, you don't know how healthy he's going to be. So go ahead and give me Cleveland in this. But this is a game I would stay away from, as well as that Buffalo game. I would stay away from.
And I agree with you again. This is definitely a game I'm staying away from because I just can't trust Cleveland. You guys covered it up perfectly. If they run the ball, they're going to win this game because when they run the ball, things open up, the bootlegs are more effective, and Odell gets a little more space on the outside, just like MJ referred to. So give me the Browns to win this game. Not confidently picking them, but I'm picking them to win this game. Let's get to the comments real quick. Shout out to everybody in the comments. J Ham, Jorge, Dion, Zach asking, can Dak get it done versus Russ? We'll answer that question in about 20 minutes. Zach, stay tuned. Chris Joseph in the building, J Ham, Jorge, KG, Big Shot, talking about the Patriots-Raiders game as a Victorino Invitational. We got a new one in the building, Fisherholic. Welcome to the club, Fisherholic.
Welcome, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Dion says Buffalo is going to whip LA. Hand pointing out that the Rams back-to-back in the Eastern time zone. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So Les Worldwide wants to know, start Higbee or not. I'm assuming that's okay. You say yes. I don't take fantasy advice from me, Worldwide.
It's only yes because behind the scenes, I know what Lester's alternatives are.
Okay, there you go.
If you start anybody else and they don't perform, you're going to want to shoot me. And I don't want to get shot.
Fantasy alert. Quintorris Jones is out for today's game versus the Bears. Just came across my stream. Hamstring. He is inactive.
Oh, wow.
Yes, indeed. Jorge and Worldwide are crushing over Jessica Biel right now. And Dion said, perfect about the Browns. He doesn't have an offensive line. I'm going to answer that question, MJ. There are certain offensive lines, and they change every year, but Cleveland is one of them. There are offensive lines that just look different when you start to run the football. And Cleveland is one of those teams. When you start to run the football, that offensive line takes a step up because, as we know, for the big guys, no beef, no Lombardi, it's a lot easier going forward than it is to pop your chest up and go backwards over and over and over and over. As a big man, we just want to push forward, baby. Don't let us think about all this other stuff. Let us just push forward and get people out of the way, and you figure out the rest. That's what we like to do. Next game, moving on now. This is an interesting game here, folks. We got two of the most intriguing, polarizing, highly scouted prospects over the last decade. Both their teams are 0-2. Both these teams have playoff aspirations. Teams that are 0-3 versus teams that are 1 and 2. The difference of making the playoffs is 2% to 21%. Now, those are all numbers on 1-9, but that's a big jump. That's a huge jump. So we got the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Philadelphia Eagles. I got to get the injury report on this game. Over-under is 47. Eagles are 4-point favorites. Whew, this game is going to be very interesting. Jerm, what you got on this game?
Injury report. We got Mike Daniels, one of my favorite guys. He's questionable. Sean Williams, he's questionable. Geno Atkins is out.
Mm-hmm.
Fletcher is questionable. Alshon Jeffrey's out. Jalen Rieger's out. Rudy Ford is out for the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm going to make this real easy. Last week against the Browns in that Thursday night game, we seen them come out and employ a opening drive that was 12. That was about 10 minutes. When they did that, we had Mixon out of the backfield. We had tight ends involved. We had A.J. Green catching slants. We had Tyler Boyd catching outs. I need it in that order. That's all I'm going to say. Period, point blank. Give me Cincinnati. I don't believe in the Eagles right now. After the way they lost last week against the Rams, what the Eagles are doing right now is they're scoring in flurries. But their McFlurry has all of the chocolate in the middle. And it's just vanilla ice cream on the top and vanilla ice cream on the bottom. So the vanilla ice cream metaphorically is zeros on the scoreboard, and then they got a stretch where they just get nothing but chocolate. I don't want that. Give me Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati can put up 27 points. 27 points will beat this team. Cincinnati.
No doubt. And that's unsweetened vanilla for those who keeping track at home. That ain't even vanilla
Soft
ice cream.
serve.
That's third sweet.
Soft serve.
Listen, I'm gonna get to Philadelphia after MJ. Trav, anything you want to add to this?
Listen to Mr. Adesanya.
Philadelphia is on that slippery slope.
Mm-hmm.
They are on that slippery slope. If they lose this game, going 0-3, it's gonna be turmoil in this city. They're gonna tear Rocky Balboa statue. They're gonna tear it up. It's gonna be week 3 overreactions. You still got a couple more weeks left, but for some reason, when they're down like this is kind of like their time to step it up, especially at home. Give me the Eagles, man. I mean, Cincinnati's still young. They're gonna be good, but just give me the Eagles on this one. Give me the Eagles.
MJ, what you got on this?
All right, so let's talk about fantasy first. Eagles, I think both tight ends is somebody that you should be considered starting. I don't trust the running back for real, even though Cleveland pretty much showed everybody a good blueprint on how to beat the Bengals. But you got to also think about the fact that it was a Thursday game, and if you dealt with 60 car crashes Sunday and you got to deal with 60 more car crashes 3 days later, it's going to affect your game. So now that they're rested, I don't think they're going to be that much of a turnstile on the running game. But there's nobody really that I will invest in this game. I think this is going to be a game in which both sides know what's in store for them as far as, going 0-3. I think everybody knows what that means. I think if you have Joe Burrow throw the ball 61 times a game, you're going to burn this boy out way too early. I think they should not do that. So if whoever establishes the running game wins on this one. And as far as fantasy goes, but with the exception of Philly tight ends, I mean, I'm rooting for Boyd because he's on my team. But Cincinnati, they gotta be able to block that front line, because the one thing the Eagles always have is that front line to be able to get to the quarterback. So that's what I'm looking at.
Yes, sir, absolutely. I think for me, look, with Philadelphia, let's talk about Philadelphia first. There's a lot going on with him, right? Let's talk about Carson Wentz real quick. Carson in week 1 against Washington took the beating of his life. I mean, literally. We talked about it on the pregame show last week. We talked about it amongst ourselves, fellas. He got his whoop. in that week 1 game. And what you started to see in that week 1 game, as the game got going on, feet got a little happy feet. His progression, his reads started kind of going, his eyes started kind of going randomly. It just, the game sort of sped up for him. That mental clock was going like this: get rid of it, get rid of it, get rid of it. And you saw that again last week. And I don't blame him, because you got Aaron Donald coming after you. He missed a lot of throws. He missed a lot of reads. He made some wrong reads. He had that interception in the end zone that really could have turned this game around had they finished that drive, because that was their best drive of the game right before that interception. So for Philly, your main concern right now is your franchise. You need to make sure you keep him upright. You need to make sure you protect him, and you need to make sure that whatever you could do, he leaves your football game on both feet every Sunday, because it is not a pretty sight what's happening in Philadelphia right now. That offense is Deshaun Jackson or bust on the perimeter. And if they take away your tight ends, it's a real problem. Anything, MJ, you got to add something?
No, because I got to make a pick as far as for my gambling people.
Go ahead.
Since I have to make a pick, I'll go ahead and go with Cincinnati because Eagle got the points. Go ahead.
Okay.
Trav, did you have something you wanted to say too?
Yes, I did. I really think Carson Wentz is going to get on the good graces of the views from the 22 hard this game.
Oh,
We like Carson.
yes.
We like Carson.
Yes.
We like Carson, but we got to tell it like it is, man. And like you said, he got skull drug game 1. The feet was very happy game 2, because like you said, Aaron Donald and them was going at it. I think this game is where we see the bounce back, and we're gonna see why Carson Wentz is Carson Wentz and why they paid him that much money. They got, like you said, they got to keep him upright. They got to keep him upright. You invested too much into him.
Absolutely.
Just remember DJ Reader and Mike Daniels and Carl Lawson and Sam Hubbard and Carlos Dunlap and
Coming.
The British are coming. The British are coming. The British are coming.
But here's where I think this game is going to get decided. Both of these teams have issues with tackling. And so with that being said, Miles Sanders is the man that I want to feed over and over and over and over. I want him to get like 18 carries and 8 catches by the time this game is all said and done. Make Cincinnati tackle you. I'm sure they're going to miss a few tackles. And I'm sure for Cincinnati, you get Joe Mixon involved, you get him the ball in space, they're going to miss some tackles. So I think it's going to be a game of missed tackles, of sacks, of missed block assignments. I think it's going to be one exciting, sloppy game. And yes, I said exciting and sloppy in the same sentence. Give me the Eagles to win this game. I'm going with a high score. I'm going to be honest with you. Give me the Eagles 35-31, a bit of a bounce back. Ertz, Goddard, Sanders, if you got them, start them. Yes, even if you got Goddard, just start him, because right now those are his 3 best options to get this ball down the field and to put it in the end zone. We're going to move on to the next one now. With Cincy Philly. Oh, boy, this game. We got the Titans at the Vikings. The over-under is 50. The Vikings are 3-point home underdogs, y'all. 3-point home underdogs, y'all. And listen, anytime you lose to Phillip Rivers, you deserve to be a home underdog. You don't deserve that type of respect and treatment from Vegas or views. Minnesota, these first 2 weeks have not looked very good at all. And on the flip side, Tennessee is looking like they're picking up right where they left off last year, especially when they whooped on Baltimore. Shout out to the Ravens crew, who you're going to see tomorrow night on the Monday pregame show. I'm going to keep it simple for this one. Beef over flash. Beef over flash. Give me the beef in this one. Titans win. Titans roll behind Derrick Henry, which I'm sure MJ is going to touch on. Jerm, what you got on this game?
Man, look, we're going to make this real simple, man. We're going to make this the most simple thing that we can possibly make this. Give me the team that's more consistent right now, and that's Tennessee. There's nothing consistent about Minnesota. It looks like Stephon Diggs really wasn't the problem in Minnesota, and that's all I'm going to say.
Oh yeah, Trav. Anything you want to add to this game?
Give me Titans, man. Give me Titans. Derrick Henry finna be a dog today. Derrick Henry finna be a dog today. This is one of these games where he's going to be a dog. Tannehill gonna do his best version of what's my guy name? The quarterback they used to quarterback for San Francisco, Smith.
Alex Smith.
Alex Smith. He's gonna do his best imitation of him. He's not gonna force it. Keep it mid-range. Pound the ball, man. Tennessee goes on, and this will make the Vikings 0-3, correct?
Yup.
If that was to happen.
Yup.
That's a danger zone. That's a danger zone. So
very much so. Very much so. And drop the
real
J.
quick, can I say one thing real quick?
Yeah, of course.
Go ahead.
Real quick, just for fantasy, before he go to fantasy, Dantzler and Mike Hughes are both out. So Mike Hughes is their veteran guy left in that cornerback room, and Dantzler is one of their boundary corners. So they're going to be down to cornerback 3, 4, 5 today, technically. So that's another part. And the only thing that we have here for the Titans is we have AJ Brown out. We have AJ Brown is out, which they still have Corey Davis. They still got Jonnu Smith. They still got some guys there. So just to drop that in there. Go ahead, MJ. I'm sorry.
No, I was about to say, you wanted me to talk about Henry. I actually was talking about Corey Davis. I think that's a dude that you could probably start to flex because they're going to have to put 8 in the box in on Derrick Henry. And Corey Davis is poised enough to be able to beat his matchup considering those injuries that are going on. I think Dalvin Cook breaks a 50-plus yard touchdown on this game. I don't know why. I just have a good feeling that he might do it. This is not any views or anything. Sometimes you just have a gut feeling certain things going to happen. And also from a competition standpoint, usually when running backs play against good running backs, they really want to show that other running back that they're the one, so I think he's going to run hard. I think he's going to run fast, and I think he's going to do some things. There's no reason why I will pick Minnesota, even if the points are given. I'm going to go with Tennessee. I think this is one of your safest bets.
I mean, that covers it. We're gonna move on because we're not gonna spend more time on Minnesota until they make us spend more time on them.
They can't make us do nothing we don't want to do.
Well, if they play good football, we're gonna talk about you. You play crappy football, we're gonna say 1 or 2 harsh things and we're gonna move on. We're not gonna give you that kind of airtime because this is quality airtime, and we're not gonna spend it on slowness.
Mr. Adesanya.
Get to the comments real quick. We got Trav answering some fantasy questions. Jorge says Phillip Rivers is the Cheerio throwing bandit. Victor Mino's got his Raiders going 3-0 today. They want to know what's wrong with Minnesota. Flash. That's what's wrong. Flash don't win you football games in this league, baby. You need substance. You need beef. Yes. And then Big Shot, of course, if you're in fantasy, he says start Kirk Cameron over Kirk Cousins. I agree with him. We're going to move on now to the next game. Yeah. Chicago and Atlanta. MJ, I know you got a lot to say on this one. We're going to get to you just in a minute. Over-under is 47. The Falcons are 3-point home favorites. The Falcons desperately need a win. They got stomped out of the gate by Seattle in week 1, although they kept it close. And then last week, they just do what they do best, I guess, blowing that horrible big lead against the Dallas Cowboys. They desperately need a win, and if Quintorris is not ready to go, that's going to be a problem. Jern, what you got on this game?
I got this coin right here, right?
Okay, all right.
The home team got heads, and the away team got tails, right?
Pretty much.
Because here's the one thing: both of these teams deserve none of Mr. Adesanya today. So. The Bears.
Oh my God. Trav, anything you want to add to this game, bro?
I was just about to say this is a coin flip type of game, but give me the Bears, man. Calvin Ridley, you fixing to see how it feels to be Michael Jackson and not Tito.
The only thing about this Michael Jackson is This Michael Jackson got some
He
good.
can sing. This
Nah,
one
this
can
Michael
sing.
Jackson.
That's Janet.
Oh.
Calvin's really Janet on the low.
This one can actually sing. This one
On
can
the low.
perform. But
Oh,
with Julio sitting down, he's gonna be it's gonna be a little bit swayed over to that side where Calvin Ridley is at, because Calvin Ridley, fantasy wise, has been balling.
mm-hmm.
You still start him, but at the end of the day, why are we even mentioning Mitchell Trubisky putting in work? He may do that. I think he's gonna do that today.
He may do that.
11, you down 0-3, man. You down 0-3.
MJ, what you got on the fantasy side and the money side?
All right, so I'm going to throw some names out here y'all might be familiar with. DeAndre Hopkins, Amari Cooper, Deontay Johnson, Stephon Diggs, AJ Green, DJ Moore, and Calvin Ridley. All of those have over 22 targets. They are leading the league in targets as of right now. At 21, you have Russell Gage. So if you ain't picked him up by now, I don't know what you're doing. I picked him up before I even knew Julio was playing, because clearly they're still giving this boy the ball despite who playing. I don't care if it's Hayden Hurst. I don't care if it's Julio. I don't care if it's Calvin. He's finding a way to get his money. So if you ain't picked him up by now, what the fuck are you doing? Like, really? What are you doing? I don't know if this is going to be a good matchup for this game per se, but I damn sure know he's going to keep eating, because when Matt Ryan likes a person, he throws him the ball.
Yes.
I mean, look at Quinn Torres. He's been dealing with that hamstring and been questionable for 5 years since I've been playing. I picked him 2 out of those 5. This is how I know. And I'm playing against him this week, and this is the first time he actually didn't play. So I'm shocked, actually. I'm like, oh, he really ain't playing? When I see that question, I'm like, oh, sign him up. He's still going to get his 119, no touchdowns, because he just don't throw it to him in the red zone for whatever reason. But he's going to get his 119 yards. But the fact that he's not playing is shocking to me. But as far as the game goes, I actually like Cordell Patterson as a sleeper.
Okay.
I think they do some trick stuff with him. He actually averages 15 points in my league, which is pretty good for like a 5th option. So definitely look at that. With the Bears, it can go either way. I am going to pick the Atlanta Falcons for this game. And for this reason and this reason only. Matt Ryan is actually pretty good against the blitz.
Not bad.
He's not bad against the blitz.
Bad.
Bears like to send people, a lot of people. Since they got out of that cover 2, they're in 3-4 now. They send a lot of people. I don't think Matt Ryan is going to be uncomfortable against that. And that means now Chicago has to score. I've yet to see Chicago consistently put up numbers. Nope. I haven't seen it. Yeah. Since I was born. Like, when have you seen Chicago to put up numbers?
Well, listen, I don't.
Also,
yeah, go ahead. No, for sure.
Before you say that, I'm gonna let y'all know I'm going to pick against the Bears every game this season, because every time I pick against them, they win.
They win.
I'm gonna always pick against them. So.
Okay. Listen, this is another one of those games that I went back and forth on, and if you gambling on this one, I would stay away from this one as well. Yeah, because you just don't know what you're going to get. It could be a high-scoring game. It could be a low-scoring game. Atlanta desperately needs a win. But I think when you get a football team, if there's one thing I'll say is that it seems like the Bears have constructed a roster slightly better than the Falcons. If I'm going to say one thing. And the Falcons right now are in that place of transition. Right. So this year for them is going to be feel out, continuity, buildings, what's good, what's not, who do we get rid of, who do we add, what are our strengths, what are our weaknesses. So Atlanta for them, this is truly a year of let's figure it out. They can't afford to let's figure it out, because Dan Quinn is on the hottest hot seat in the history of hot seats right now. And if he falls to 0-3, I don't know what's going to happen. Now, I don't think under any circumstances they'll fire Dan Quinn just because he's a player's coach. But if we are 2 years in a row in the middle of the season, and we're questioning if Dan Quinn is going to survive another week. And as I said, as Jerm has said, as most of us have said, Had you fired Dan Quinn the Monday after 28-3, nobody would have batted an eye. But here we are 3 years later, stuck in the same position where we just don't know how to close out games. Finish. Shout out to Vic Coco Jr. I'm going with the Bears on this one, believe it or not. I'm going with the Bears. I think Khalil Mack is going to have a good game. I think Roquan can do some things in the middle of that defense to confuse some things from Matt Ryan. So I like the safeties. Their corners are not bad. I'm going with the Bears. They beat the Giants 17-13. I'm going to go with that same score. Give me the Bears 17-13. That's just how it is. Speaking of the Giants, we actually skipped over this game. Did we? Or did we talk about it?
We didn't talk about this.
We skipped over this game. So let's get right now to the both New York City teams who play in Jersey. We got the San Francisco going to the New York Giants. San Francisco, you want to talk about injuries. My goodness. George Kittle is not playing. Jimmy Garoppolo is not playing. Raheem Mostert is not playing for an extended period of time. Nick Bosa, he's done for the year. Greenlaw, that linebacker, he's questionable. I mean, they're dealing with a plethora of injuries for them. And for the Giants, as we know, Saquon Barkley, he's done for the year. Shout out to Saquon. No slander today. Hope you get back on the football field because we actually do enjoy watching you play, despite narratives that would have you think otherwise. Jerm, what you got on this game? I think for both these New York games, we're going to go rapid fire style on this one. I'm going San Francisco regardless to win this game. 9-2. Give me not 9-2. I'm sorry. That's the Jets game. I'm sorry. Giants game. Give me San Francisco 20-17. Jerm, what you got on this game?
D Ford is out.
And D Ford is out. Yes. Thank you, Jerm.
That's too many pass rushers.
Yeah, man.
Hey, man, you know what? Daniel Jones. Give me the Giant. Give me the G-Man.
Trav, anything you want to add to this?
Jordan Reed's going to get fed today.
Okay.
Jordan Reed's going to get fed. Me personally, give me 49ers in this one, man. Give me the 49ers.
MJ, what you got on the fantasy side?
Jordan Reed's going to get fed, like Trav said, but I'm also looking at Darius Slayton on the Giants end. Also, here's a sleeper. If you haven't picked him up, you should have picked him up as well. Not Devontae Freeman, but Deion Lewis.
Yes. Who you got to win?
Don't
matter, right?
Yeah, I mean, Giants. Why not?
Okay, why not? Moving on now, we got the New York Jets versus the Indianapolis Colts, also known as the game that I will not spend 30 seconds on because I'm not going to spend 30 seconds watching it on my TV. Give me the Colts 9-2. Yes, I said it. Jeremy, what you got on this game?
I ain't gonna lie to you. I started to turn my camera off and talk like a ghost because at the end of the day, like, ooh, Mr. Adesanya, that would be more entertaining in this game potentially. So, at the end of the day, give me Indianapolis just because they got on the True 22, which should be released, which should be on the website and everything.
It is
like
on the
that.
website, yes, sir.
The True 22, just so y'all know, Indianapolis had some good play, had some good defensive play last week, and a couple offensive players that was there as well. Give me Indy because they're just better. They're just better. That's it.
Bro, I go find you a junior. Oh, I'm not gonna go that far.
Follow the sound of my voice.
Trav, anything you want to add to this?
Hey, man, I don't deal with Phillip Rivers, and I don't trust New York teams. I wish this game could end 0-0, but give me Indy, man. Even though Phillip Rivers gonna throw 3-yard passes and get mad because you don't get a first down on 3rd and 13. So, still, give me Indy, man.
MJ, what you got on the fantasy and the money side?
Jonathan Taylor. There you
go.
As far as fantasy goes, if you have a problem picking a defense, whoever the Jets play, just pick them up off waivers.
Yes.
Just so y'all know too, real quick, MJ, Rashad Perriman and Crowder are out for the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
My God, like what do y'all have? You know, just go ahead, MJ.
Left Bell on IR.
No, I mean, this will be a game that you can safely bet Indianapolis on. And if you lose, I would say you probably shouldn't gamble again because it's just not for you.
Yes, absolutely. Next game on the schedule, we got the Carolina Panthers versus the Los Angeles Chargers. Shout out to Tyrod. I hope you can find a loophole and sue the living you-know-what out of everybody inside that Chargers organization, because for the last 20 years, they've been doing malpractice for the last 20 years, okay? Because this team has dealt with injuries among injuries among injuries, and this might be the worst one of all for the team doctor to puncture your starting quarterback's lungs. Now, they're saying all this stuff, and notice how it's faded away a little bit, but I'm going to tell you this. Had that been Drew, had that been Brady, had that been Aaron, had that been Phillip Rivers last year, it would not have faded away by now. We're just going to say that. So we're going to make sure to always try to bring attention to that, because it can't fade away, because we can't have team doctors who are irresponsible just continue to get away with this. You have taken a paycheck now from Tyrod for at least the next month. You ain't gonna pay that bill. So who is? What's this over under is 43.5. Chargers 6.5 point home favorites. Carolina is trying to figure out not only what they're good at, not only what their identity is, they're still trying to figure out who each other are. I guarantee you there's some guys who don't know some guys' names on this football team, because there's just such a huge roster turnover. Excuse me. I forgot to mention this for the Bengals game. I don't think Zach Taylor knows how to win football games in this league. And I think Matt Rule is going to have a tough time figuring out how to win football games in this league. Anthony Lynn knows how to make a team competitive. And I think with Justin Herbert, with Keenan, with Henry, with that running back committee that they have, I'm going with the Chargers to win this game and Justin Herbert to get his first career win. So give me the Chargers 26-21, which means I'm taking the Panthers with the points. Germ, what you got on this game?
Chargers.
Say less. Trav, anything you want to add?
Why do I feel like that doctor got paid to do that to Tyrod Taylor?
Ooh, boy.
Football hotel stuff. I'm on with you.
Ooh, boy.
Why do I feel? Because Tyrod Taylor, yes. In our world, we do believe in him. But Justin Herbert is doing what Phillip Rivers was supposed to be doing last year as a quarterback for that San Diego Chargers team. Give me the Chargers, man. Give me the Chargers.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Listen
sir.
to the sound of my voice. Mr. Adesanya is telling you that this is Los Angeles, Mr. Trav. Go ahead.
Yo.
I refuse to pick a team that is trying to sweep under the carpet a situation that is going on with Tyrod Taylor, especially with the hypocrisy that's going on behind it. I will not pick the Chargers, and I don't care if I'm wrong, but I will not support that until they make that right for what they did with Tyrod Taylor.
Yes.
I'm not even about to talk about football right now, because I'm a firm believer in the sports gods. When you do stuff wrong, it does affect you. So, F them Chargers. I'm picking Carolina.
I don't blame you one bit. I just want to ask real quick, MJ, DJ Moore or Keenan Allen, if you got to pick between one of the two for this matchup.
If I got to pick between one of the two, I'm going to pick 7-11, Keenan Allen.
Keenan Allen. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I'm rooting for Robbie Anderson, because he's actually second in fantasy points right now, and he's on my team, and we told y'all about him. So, there.
The last thing I'm going to add for this on Justin is find your changeup, young man. Find your changeup. He's got a fastball that's beautiful. Find your changeup. That's all he needs to do. Another game we're going to go through real quick, because we still got 3 really big games to get to. But another game we're going to do rapid fire style on: the Lions versus the Cardinals. Over-under is 56. The Cardinals are 6-point favorites. I'm going to just keep this real simple in this game. The Lions are not a 60-minute team. The Cardinals get better as the game gets deeper and deeper. Give me Kyler Murray. Give me Cardinals, Kenyon Drake, D-Hop, Larry the Legend, all of that. Give me the Cardinals to win this game 31-19. Jerm, what you got on this?
I mean, it's just real simple. Lions won't be able to catch Cardinals because the Cardinals be fly.
Oh, yo, Trav, anything you want to add to this?
Man, I ain't picked the Cardinals since they was in St. Louis.
Damn. That was like 1947, isn't it?
That's the 80s. I'm talking about Dan Dierdorf and
Little trivia. Do you know what an Arizona Cardinals franchise started? I'm pretty sure I have this right.
No, I don't offhand. I know they was in
Germ?
St. Louis.
No. I want to give a guess, but I don't really have a good guess. So go ahead.
MJ?
Chicago.
There you go. Chicago it is.
Yeah,
Chicago it is. Chicago.
but give
it
me
is.
the Cardinals. Give me the Cardinals. Give me the Cardinals in this. Too much road runner, man. Too much road runner.
MJ, what you got on the
told you,
fantasy end on this
he
one?
fly.
He
Hey,
fly.
is Kenny Galladay playing yet?
I'll double check. He was listed as
No,
doubtful.
he's not playing.
Okay,
Okay.
there you go.
No, he's
Yeah,
questionable. He's questionable today, not doubtful, so he could play.
He could play. I mean, even if he does play because he's questionable, I'll stay away from anything that's a Lion player. Maybe Hawkinson is a look. As far as Arizona goes,
He's
play
playing.
Kyler. Oh, okay, cool.
Yes.
I think that will open up more looks for Hawkinson because they're going to have to focus on Galladay. So play Hawkinson. Also play Kenyon Drake, play D-Hop, play Kyler. That's like a given. I got Cardinals walking away with this easily.
Play them all, huh?
Just play them.
Yeah, I hear you. Moving on now. We, the people, we got Tampa Bay Buccaneers traveling Little West to play the Denver Broncos. Over-under in this game is 42.5. And the Buccaneers, 6-point road favorites. I think with this Buccaneers team, real quick, you're going to continue to see Tom Brady and that offense build. And I think the more that he gets a say, the more that he gets comfortable, the more that it starts to look like Tom Brady has an input on this, the better this team is going to get. Okay, there's a lot of communication, cohesion, and all that stuff that has to happen. And I think the more they play together, the more that's going to continue to happen. I think in this game, it is a great opportunity for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense to continue to establish that they can be among the premier defenses in this league because this matchup favors them well. And so Devin White, Levante David, Noah Fant cannot go off, and their run game cannot get going and keep them in this game like it did for Denver versus Pittsburgh last week. So give me Tampa in this one. Give me Fournette, who is going to be a number one starter, but I think they have this mesh that they want him to be that Mariano Rivera, and I'm okay with that for now. But so give me Tampa to continue to figure things out, but they're going to cruise while they continue to figure this thing out. Give me Tampa 31-13. Sorry, you got Jeff Driscoll and Blake Bortles. I ain't giving you more than 13 points. Jerm, what you got on this game?
So what Jerm has on this particular game, as I come back from my We the People stands, is I just want to make sure we just highlight one thing in this game, and that's that there were 3 touchdown drops last week for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Brady was dealing last week. He had a couple bad throws, but he had a lot of positive things come from this, and there will be the full complement of weapons today. They should score 40. In my J Ham voice, they should score 40.
Listen.
We the people.
Listen. Trav, anything you want to add to this? You've been the longest Buccaneers fan. You're the real Buccaneers fan on this show. What you got on this?
Man, them running backs, Melvin Gordon and Lindsey, you're going to see a lot of Devin White and a lot of Levante David.
Lindsey's out.
Lindsey's out.
Yeah.
It is. So Melvin Gordon, you're going to see a lot of those two, and you're going to see a lot of Whitfield and Winfield. You're going to see a lot of them two creeping up. Yeah. You're going to see that.
Yeah.
You're going to see that. I'm giving Brady week 4 to 6 to catch some real rhythm. By week 8, this background I got behind me, you're going to see that person on that left get a hold of that person on the right. Give us in a blowout. I think we're going to go and handle business in Denver. Denver too undermanned right now. They shouldn't be in the game. Yeah. But give me my Bucks, man. We the people.
Yes, sir. MJ, what you got on this?
I think Denver should start thinking about getting into the Trevor Lawrence sweepstakes. As far as Tampa Bay goes, play everybody but the tight ends. The tight ends is a long-term investment. Around week 6, week 7, you're going to start to see that ROI with your tight ends. I got both of them right now. I'm not saying anything right now, but I know I will because Mike Evans is eating hearty. Mm-hmm. So if you got Mike Evans like I got Mike Evans, you'll continue to reap the benefits of that connection. Also start Tom Brady, but that should be a no-brainer for you right now. So as far as Denver goes, I will stay away from really anybody but the kicker. Go ahead, Trey.
And Scotty Miller.
Start them all, but I
You
said everybody
got
but
a
the tight
flex
end.
spot.
Yeah.
If you got a flex spot, Scotty Miller is basically the Wes Welker of this offense. He's gonna feed him, and he's gonna feed him in spurts and spots. Scotty Miller, catch the ball too. Catch the ball today.
I gotta be honest. Scotty is more gonna play that Deion Branch role than he is gonna play that Wes Welker role. That Wes Welker, Julian Edelman role is gonna go to Chris Godwin.
Yep.
Scotty is gonna be more that Deion Branch and what sometimes they would do with Danny Amendola and Chris Hogan. But Chris Evans is going to be the guy that scores touchdowns. Evans is going to have like 6 catches for 125 yards and 1 touchdown, and Godwin's going to have like 13 catches for 130 yards and no touchdowns. I'm exaggerating, but that's more of the stat line that you're going to see on a week in, week out basis from these two. So they're going to get you your points. Just the upside is always going to go towards Evans because he's more than likely to get the touchdown targets, the red zone targets. Just laws of physics, laws of physical nature, whatever you want to call it. Moving on now, we got, last thing I want to say, Justin Simmons, he can start for all 32 teams in this league. That's all I'm going to leave it right there. Keep an eye on that kid. Okay, down to the last two. Dallas versus Seattle. Cowboys and Seahawks. These two teams, they never disappoint. For the last 6 years, anytime they play, it is a fun, competitive, beef football game. Over-under is 57. The Seahawks, led by Russell Wilson, who's gunning for that MVP, 5-point favorites. One thing I'm going to say, Seattle is a 60-minute football team, and Seattle knows how to win football games. Dallas is a 60-minute football team. Dallas is built for 60 minutes. The problem is sometimes they don't show up till about 30 minutes left. You can't do that in this game. Not by any means. Not by any means. CeeDee Lamb is expected to have a big game, in my opinion. Seattle has a really hard time covering the slot receivers, and CeeDee is going to be in that slot. That should help them move the ball. Zeke, he got that tattoo. Feed him, feed him, feed him, feed him. But in the end, I just think Russell Wilson is balling on a different level of balling. I think this offense is finding its rhythm, finding its identity. Hey, we can throw the ball while still maintaining our physical identity. They're finding that. And that defense is flying around the football, especially with Jamal Adams in there. So give me the Seahawks to win this game, 28-24, Seattle. Germ, go ahead and flip that coin. Catch it first.
I'm going to catch the frog. Of course, heads is the home team, tails is the away team. Heads is going against what I really want to do with my other head here. So I'm going to just pick Seattle because that's what the coin flip told me to do.
Hey, listen, in the words of Tom Brady, you always take head. Trav, what you got on this game?
For some reason, I have like this unique man crush on Seattle. They never let me down when I need to pick them. And yes, Dak Prescott had a bad game fantasy-wise. I mean, a bad game watching TV-wise, but fantasy-wise, this man had 41 points. Get the hell out of here with that, man. But I'm still picking Seattle, man. Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, Carson catching out the backfield and running hard. Yes, we're going to see Zeke put in work too, but hey, man, give me Seahawks, man.
Listen, anytime you see a receiver can beat Stephon Gilmore consistently and it doesn't look flukish, like the way, what's his name? Marquise Goodwin beat Darrelle Revis a couple years ago. Anytime you see a guy dominate a tier 1 corner that way, you start him every week in DK Metcalf. MJ, what you got on this game?
Man, start everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody in there, start them.
Yes.
They're going to score about 50, 60 points in between them. Russell Westbrook is about in his, 8th year?
2012. So yeah.
Okay. The quarterback position is probably the hardest position to play in any sport. It takes literally 7 to 9 years to finally get it, to finally adjust to the speed, to finally know who you are, to finally be able to see, to finally be able to make every throw under duress, to be comfortable with people at your feet, to know when to take off, to know when to make these decisions. Russell Wilson is now the best quarterback in the NFL with him and Pat Mahomes, both of them. I'm not picking you. Which one you pick is like, okay, you want cheese on your pizza or do you want extra sauce? Whatever it is, you can't really lose. So I'm
it's
not
going pineapples, that's for sure. Go ahead, though.
No, I ain't going on that. But I'm not going against Russell Wilson at this point. I'm just not.
Right.
It's what it is.
He's earned that respect. He's earned that respect to say, no matter what the matchup is, I'm going to put my trust in you to get me there. And
he put the work in, and he did it the right way. First, it was a run, smash mouth, heavy play. Then, he used his legs. He missed on a few throws as he was progressing. Now he's diming everything. He still could take off. He knows how to slide. He knows not to do too much on a play. He knows to get rid of the football. Like, he has reached that point in which he's outside the matrix now.
You want to know what was the most impressive throw I saw from Russell Wilson last week? It was a 3-step drop on a hitch route. And the reason that was the most impressive throw is because he's gotten to that level now where he can do a quick 3 and throw it in rhythm. He doesn't need play action. He doesn't need leg, and he doesn't need to be in the gun. Once you take that next step that you can be under center, quick 3, boom, deep 5, boom. I don't need play action, boom. That's a next level. That's the next step. And he's taking it. And shout out to Russ. Let's get to the comments real quick before we get to the last game. Big Shot called this game the game of the day. Indeed, it is. Godwin from Mr. West. Yes, you got to start. And Tampa, you heard MJ. Start him. Except for the tight ends, start him. Free Tyrod for sure. Big Shot. J Ham, of course, the historian, knew the answer to my question where the Cardinals started. We got Coach Jordan in the building. What's going on, Coach? And yes, Big Shot. Yes, Big Shot. Contract the Jets and contract every health professional on the Los Angeles Chargers staff. We're not going to forget you. I thought I told you that we won't stop. We're going to be on the Chargers week in and week out till they do the right by Tyrod Taylor. Last game, the Sunday night, the main event, the heavyweight bout, no doubt about it. You got the Green Bay Packers at the New Orleans Saints, 53.5. New Orleans is 3-point favorites, but no Michael Thomas and more than likely no Devontae Adams. So Breeze versus Rodgers without their top weapons, which means somebody's got to find somebody else. As I said last week, Drew Brees is the first quarterback in NFL history to not produce with Emmanuel Sanders. I think what you're seeing from New Orleans is if Drew Brees early in the season is already missing out routes, already missing reads, already having duck throws over and over and over, there's a real issue going on in New Orleans. And as we said on one of the division shows, if Emmanuel doesn't produce, something is wrong with Drew Brees, and he might be a hindrance to that offense. And I'm just saying this. There is a young quarterback on that team who is not in his 7th year yet, who has shown progression every year, and he's sitting there with that clipboard just watching. If he gets on the field, be careful. Because one thing we know about Jameis, he going to throw that rock. He don't care if he got to throw it out, deep, wherever. He going to throw that ball. I'm going with Green Bay in this one. I love Green Bay's identity. I love what they have. I love their foundation. We talk about Pat. We talk about Russ. But Aaron's in that conversation right now. Aaron's playing, for sure. But he's back to playing 2011 type Aaron.
Yeah.
He is in rhythm. He's throwing with conviction. He's taking risks. He's being aggressive. No Devontae Adams, no problem. No Michael Thomas, big problem because of Drew Brees. So give me the Packers to win this game on the road. Give me Green Bay 35-30. Green Bay. Jerm, what you got on this?
Simply put, I think altogether, man, this is just a game that just signs. I don't trust Drew Brees. I don't So give me Aaron Rodgers and the Packers today. Call me Pac-Man. The ghost is blue.
Trav, anything you want to add to this, sir?
Arrogant Aaron, man. Arrogant Aaron is putting that ball. He is being aggressive with that peel. Give me 12, man. And I ain't talking about the real 12 at Tampa.
Bootleg 12.
I'm talking about
bootleg. Say it, Trav. Bootleg 12. Just say it. Say it with your chest.
Aaron,
We got 12. We have 12.
It's arrogant Aaron, man. Arrogant Aaron is proving a lot of people wrong, man. He's putting that ball wherever it needs to be. And Devontae is out. He's still gonna put in that work, man. He's still gonna. You got number 83 and some other guy. He gonna give him the rock, man. Give me Green Bay in this.
I actually want to give a little bit of credit to the new head coach over there who actually came from Seattle, who I think had a lot to do with Russell Wilson's development. And I think because he actually has, Aaron Rodgers' respect, Aaron Rodgers is starting to listen, and lo and behold, they both are looking about the same. He has the running game from a fantasy standpoint. Definitely play Jones on the running back. I actually think if you haven't picked up Alan Lazard, this would be the perfect time to do it right now. Now that everybody kind of know that Devontae Adams, who is almost a GOAT at this point, is injured. I also would say, with the Saints, I still will play Alvin Kamara. I mean, that should be a given. Definitely play him. I think they get Emmanuel Sanders involved in this game this time. I just don't think it will be enough. So I'm going with Green Bay, the best team in the NFC North.
Yes, indeed. That about wraps up the show. Tomorrow night, we will be coming at you around 7 o'clock. Chiefs versus Ravens, Lamar versus Mahomes, and Germ So True and Vic Jr. versus Dion Reed, a new addition to the crew. He's making his debut. I know y'all going to enjoy him. Fellas, final thoughts before we log off. Anybody?
I'll just say this. Enjoy the week of football. We got a lot of good football coming. It just is what it is, man. Let's just have a good week. We got our picks in. Stay tuned for more stuff from the scene. And that's it, man. We congratulations to MJ for making the transition from Saturday to Sunday. And then Trav came over from basketball to football. I mean, this is just, prime time things going on, fellas.
Versatility. Trav, anything you want to add? Final thoughts?
Hey, man, enjoy these games, man.
Yes,
I hope
sir.
all your fantasy picks are good picks, and we the people. We the people, man.
Indeed, brother. MJ, anything you want to add?
Two things. One, understand that hamstrings and ACLs are at an all-time high when it comes to injuries because there was no preseason and a lot of guys didn't get to warm up the way they are. So just make sure from a fantasy standpoint, you're really doing your homework and looking at that third, fourth, and fifth receiver on these rosters because they're going to play a huge role going into it. And the second one, inside joke. If you're going to rent a car from the Atlanta airport, make sure you leave out 3 hours prior instead of 2. just some game.
Yes. We're gonna leave that right there. I'm Mo Schefter. That's Germ So True. That's Trav. That's M Drop the J because the fadeaway perfect. And we are The Scene. Views from the 22, 94 Feet of Life, Stoppage Time FC, Petty in the Outfield, Fight Threads, you name them. We got them all. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure those notifications are on because you just never know when we're going to drop something, and we're going to drop some heat. Enjoy the games. Enjoy your Sundays. Enjoy your families.